Alright folks, working on the 1994 Ford Ranger Splash. When's the last time you saw one of these? In New York. Stick that. We never see these things. 1994, I'm talking old school. ALDL under the hood, had to pull codes, guys, money lights on. The DPFE sensor here, believe it or not, is broke. It's stuck at 4.8 volts. We got a new one coming. Ordered one last night, and I noticed his connector here is also busted. So I called down to the Advance Auto, not a sponsor. They got us a connector. I could get it from Napper, but they were like 6 times the cost. So we got one here from the Advance. Make sure it's going to be the right one. Yes, sir. It is. We don't want to put it on and break it the first try. So we'll wait for the new one to show up here from Napper. While we're doing that, we're going to put this little guy on. I don't imagine the wire colors are the same. Just looking at it here. And they are not, so we have to be careful of that. Usually connectors or pigtails come and they're just generic, you know, all white, or all black wires, or all orange wires, something like that. So we're going to take and just open up the loom here. Split this little guy back. Peel the tape off it. We zip tied it up here, back on the holder. We'll give ourselves some more room. We'll just cut that zip tie there. And we'll cut this one here. This way we can do what we have to do. There, that should give us enough room. I don't know if the connectors are built the same in the sense that you could just de-pin it and pin them over, but we'll play it safe and not mess with pin tension. Just cut it and butt connect it on there and shrink her down. We'll do it one wire at a time because the colors don't match. We're likely going to get distracted. It does have a locator tab you can just line up. We can leave the wire a little bit long. We'll come through here and just chop it off. There's that one. Grab the stripper. Strip her back. There's that. I already crimped it onto the connector here. Get this baby ready like that. A little difficult making videos here in the with everybody coming in, especially on a Friday. We'll try to make it all fit together here for us. Oh, come on. There's that. There we go. We'll grab our middle wire here. You can stagger them a little bit. Keeps them from getting kind of bulky under the tape and wire loom there, if you will. Cut them like that. I'm sure you guys have seen other guys put on butt connectors. No real big stroke of genius going on here. Alright, there it is. Now once you get that done, you're going to want to shrink them down. Be careful if you got a battery that's peeing all over before you crack open an open flame here. And we'll just shrink these down. These are not just regular butt connectors. I do get asked that sometimes. These are special, you know, heat shrink butt connectors. And make sure if you're buying them, make sure you buy the ones that have the adhesive in them also. As they shrink down, the goo comes out. These work really, really well, providing you crimp them correctly. If you use the wrong side of your crimper, let's say the non-insulated side of your crimper, to crimp them down and you poke a little hole on it, as soon as you put heat on it, they just split right open. So make sure you're using the insulated side of your crimper to crimp. That's the smooth part of your crimper. There, now they're all shrunk down, and then we wait. So that's the part number, and that is for the D shape, D like Delta. They make an oval shape and a D shaped connector, and it's not the inside of the connector, it's the outside of the connector. This one is D shaped on this vehicle. So when you're looking them up, that's the part number for the D one. Where's my parts?
What are you talking about?
My DPFE sensor and hoses, man. You know Vanessa O was here 45 minutes ago, happy and smiling.
If I had here anything here for you at all, you'd already have it.
Are you kidding me? I just called Napa to harass him to find out where my parts are because it's 8:45 and all my other deliveries have been here already. And he says he doesn't have any parts for me.
Oh dear.
Yeah, that's right, Mrs. O. That's how this Friday's starting out. But you know whose fault it is?
Not sure.
No, it's mine.
Uh-oh.
I ordered it from the wrong Napa.
Oh.
You know what I mean?
When's the other guy?
Oh, maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock, he said. He's the guy short, and one guy doesn't feel good, and another guy is in a safe place, and blah, blah, blah. All that stuff. So we're going to tape this up here, folks. So when I look up stuff on our Napa system, if I can look at a bunch of different stores, and it doesn't default back to my OG, my people, my locals. And if I accidentally order something from the wrong store, I don't notice it right away until 8:45 the next morning when I'm screaming at the other store to find out where my parts are. And so there's nothing we can do about it.
You can wait.
We can wait patiently. I just wanted to bang this one out. Freaking cars are overflowing in the parking lot, so I wanted to get it out of here, out of my life. Have a sense of accomplishment. First thing in the morning, it kind of sets the pace for the rest of the day. But you see where this pace is being set now, don't you?
You can check with the next one.
So we'll just set that there gingerly. I ordered the 2 new hoses, the new DPFE, I don't know what that stands for, Delta Pressure Exhaust Feedback Sensor, I think, something like that.
Sounds good.
Sounds good, whatever. Stand by. Alright, Napa finally showed up. So we're gonna unhook the hoses there. 5.5 mm. Now this one has probably been changed before. The OG pressure differential sensors were typically made out of aluminum on these vehicles, and they would corrode and disappear. When they came out with plastic ones, and they were a little better. I used to do a ton of these back in the day. Yeah, so this one's been changed. It's a SMP, Standard Motor Products, and it's gone bad. That one is stuck at 4.88 volts. Is where it was at. We're gonna get these hoses off. These hoses are usually crispy, and typically people change these hoses with the wrong type of hose. So I always do. Yeah, these are just regular fuel line from 2018, non-silicone, just your average run-of-the-mill gas line. This is probably just vacuum tubing here. I can get this one off. But anyhow, change your hoses. Look at our new sensor here. This is a Napa Ackland. It has the rubber weather pack connector inside of this because oddly enough it doesn't come with the connector. Not sure what's up with that, but that's just how they go. So we'll stick this baby back on. Yeah, 4.88 volts. I don't remember the voltage key on, engine off on these. Well, that side's slotted. I guess I could have put that one on first. I do know it's not 4.88. How do I know what was wrong with it? Well, I busted out the old OBDI Ford tool, did the key on, engine off, demand codes, and we just had the code. I don't know what it was, though, 371. I don't remember what exactly it was. But yeah, DPFE high. Then I went to the data list and saw it was at 4.88. And that's all I can tell you. We'll get our new hoses. Here's the part number for that DPFE with the D-shaped connector. And then here is your part number on the hoses, in case you need a pack of those. They come in a 2-pack, and they are silicone. They can take the heat, but if you're changing a DPFE on your Ford, you find that sucker is melted and those hoses are crispy, fix the real problem. And your real problem is going to be your plugged exhaust. I always loved this style Ford for back in the day for checking for plugged exhaust because you never had to unhook anything. Well, you can unhook one of these hoses and install your back pressure gauge, and that's it. It was a piece of cake. Let's see here. Chop her off a little longer than we think. Probably a little bit too long, but I don't want to be too short. I'm going to take and whack another ½ inch off that thing. Let's be on the safe side. Plug it up. That one's good. This one we got to kind of loopy around here. Try to get this one exact. Chop it off. Yeah, if you're using just regular fuel line and vacuum hose on these, it doesn't last. It'll work temporarily, like if you gotta wait to get the correct hose for your customer, but certainly don't leave it on. It usually gets all hard and crispy. That's it. Let's take and plug it in. I don't like how that plugged in. Let me get the let me get that rubber out of there. We'll put that on the connector. First, we're dealing with the aftermarket sensor, aftermarket connector. Mother lover. Just when you think you're doing a good job, we're gonna get some silicone grease. We're gonna lubricate the outside of it here. Maybe it's a lubrication issue. We're going to lube up the outside of the seal with some dielectric silicone grease. We don't need to do like down in the terminals or anything. We just want to get it on that O-ring. Inside the connector. Let's see if it helps. Oh, I think it's all we needed was a little lube. Oh, I see. Okay, so it does go on all the way and latch over, but it's a Ford style latch. And the way this is designed is when you pull on it, because these retainers are ramped on both sides, if that makes sense. It pushes it up to let the retainer over, and then when you pull back, it just pops it back off. Okay, so we're good, I guess. Looks like it's working as designed. A little bit of lube, made sure we hit bottom. And then the most important part is we need to make sure that it works. And I don't really feel like hooking up a scan tool. So we're just going to plug into it, and if it works, we're going to clear the code by unhooking the battery, because she's old school. We don't have a wiring diagram, but we don't need it, or we shouldn't. What we'll be looking for is one of these wires will be a ground, one will be 5 volts, and one of them will be our signal. We'll find out who's who. And then, do we have an EGR? But where's the EGR valve? Oh, she's right back here. We can open that up, and we should see our voltage change as the pressure differential across those two hoses change. So let me get our little scope here set up. So I got our scope set up here. We're on 1 volt per division, 500 milliseconds per division. We're going to find out who's who. Got us our sensor on ground. We're just going to very gingerly back probe here. Alright, so our bottom wires are 5 volt. Our middle wire must be the ground. And our top wire here is at let me find out what the voltage is, 0.69. So that must be our signal wire. So we're going to stay tapped right into that signal wire. We're going to fire it up. I'm gonna get a little vacuum line here. We're gonna open the EGR valve. Let me just unplug the EGR valve right now. I'm just taking the vacuum line off it. I'm gonna get a little one. We'll start it. We'll just give that a little suck, and we should watch our voltage go up. See if we can't use this little piece that we had left over from the DPF hose here. It'll probably want to stall, assuming, you know, if the EGR valve works. Let's just. Yep, sounds like it does. All right, great. Let's fire it up. We'll see if that'll stay. It may or may not. Okay, we're gonna try to open the valve. Oh, not working, not hooking. Get where you guys can see here. The valve's fully open right there. How's that closed? It's fully open, and that is at what, 2.8 volts is the max voltage on that. And then key on engine running goes down to your 0.069er volts there. So EGR 0.088, I guess. Yeah. So that's it. You know it works. So shut it off, and at this point, I doubt the engine light is out on its own. We can go take a look. Comes on down here in the corner. Right down there. You just let it run for about 20-30 seconds, it would pop on. It's been a long time since I worked on an OBD1 Ford. You check this thing out, man. She's cherry. Dash ain't cracked or nothing. And only 61,000 miles on her. Yeah, apparently we're good. Don't even have to clear it. Light doesn't even pop on now. Yeah, you just let it just sit here. As soon as it come down to an idle, the light would pop right on. So, sweet. Don't forget to hook your EGR valve back up. Otherwise you'll get a code when you're driving. So that's it. Super duper common problem on these older Fords. Used to do so many of those suckers. Really bringing back some memories here. I'm getting choked up a little bit. Not really. I don't miss working on these. These 4-leaves were a freaking mess to work on. Okay, that's it, folks. Hope you enjoyed it. There you have it, folks. Ford Ranger 4.0 DPF sensor. And that's it. They're pretty easy to do when you're doing them. Like I say, just make sure you buy the hoses, and that's it. And they're pretty easy to test, and that should give you some idea of the voltage levels. Key on engine off, key on engine running with the EGR open. So I wasn't even sure what they were right offhand because I didn't look, but I knew it wasn't 4.88. That's all I needed to know. The other thing I need to know is that you're going to go in that comment section. You're going to leave a question in the comment, the Insta, the Facebook. You guys know what to do while you're down there. So do it. Just remember, viewers, if I can do it, you can do it. Thanks for watching.